morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what we got today. First of all, let's do a rehash of some post analysis of what transpired last week. I remember if you check the forecast for that was Friday, I think. I was looking at buys. I was looking at buys on the break of this resistance. Okay, I put different scenarios whereby price could do something like this, go up, and I call this scenario 1, or some deeper retracement, just the same, similar to the scenario 1, but quite deeper, perhaps coming to this zone. Okay, now what I'm looking at is I'll call some terms which I don't think you might be familiar with, but if you have any questions about it, you just wait to the end of the presentation and you're free to ask your questions. For those of you who will be watching the recording, you can place your comments so that I can address them as soon as possible. Okay. I normally like waiting for price to give me deep retracement, one, to form MS, which I call money spot. Not I call it actually, that's what my mentor calls it, money spot. Price should drop, create money spot, then give me number 2, give me either a lopsided V formation or an equal V formation. Then I see some set test 1, test 2. Okay, now for this money spot, price could rally, give me my test 1, do whatever it wants to do, give me my divider, then drop to give me my test 2. Then after giving me my test 2, what will it do? It will go to retest the resistance. If it breaks, bullishly breaches the resistance, I'll be anticipating what? More rally. Okay, now all the things I said, if you don't understand it, I'll bring it to common English. But before I bring it to common English, let me just say this. After my set 1, set 2, I wait for a V formation, either equal V or lopsided V. Then my test 1, test 2 phase. Okay, after my test 1, test 2 phase, I'll be looking for buys. Now, these are some of the things I look before taking any position, whether for buys or for sells. Now, bringing it down to layman's understanding for those of you who may be confused with the terminology, what I'm trying to say is that price should go up, give me some deep retracement, okay, give me some deep retracement respecting of the bearish market structure inside this counter trend sells, okay, then fail to make new lows, okay, then give me the indication that buyers want to come into the market with an increase in momentum for the buyers, or taking out or breaching bullishly the guy who is the last sellers on the counter trend sells. Okay, since our overall bias is buys at the moment, that is just what I'm looking at. If you still don't understand it, then let me come to what I have here. I'm just trying to make you see the market through my eyes. But if that is quite complex still, let's look at it this way. Okay, let's look at it this way. What I was looking for last week on Friday was a break of this resistance. If price does not give me deep retracement, which as you can see, the retracement wasn't that deep. Okay, the retracement wasn't that deep. This was how the price retraced, gave a faker. This is what most people could call pin bar or whatever you want to call it. Okay, it dropped but closed bullish. What this simply means, if I'm trying to draw it in the way that for it to be a little technical, price opened here. I'm trying to represent this bullish candle here. Okay, I'm trying to redraw it using kind of the line chart. Price opened here, dropped, so as in dropped very deep, came up high, then closed there. This is, if you look at it, those of you who understand, you would understand that this is price has taken out the guy who started the sales and now is in what? Buyer's territory. So on a break of this high could indicate more bullish momentum. That is for this bullish guy. If you don't see candles like this, no problem. It took so many persons the opportunity or the time to understand or represent candles like this. This is different from looking at the chart using this structure. It's different. Okay, this is a kind of way to look at charts in a way that helps you to understand where new money is coming from. Okay, so that indication let me know that on the break of this high, I'll be looking for buys with my stop loss below the market structure and anticipating that price should give me at least my 1 hour. After doing that, 80% of the trade or whatever positions I had opened was secured. Then I started doing what? Observing, but price dropped into my entry price, and I was taken out of the trade. Yes, I could have retained my stop loss here and still be in the trade, but it was weekend. I didn't want to just hold the trade over the weekend. Okay, I was comfortable with the profit I had made. Okay, so that is for last week. Okay, I was looking at this morning, I was looking at this in the Asian session, but like I always advise, Asian session, the strategy I am introducing to you is for London and New York. Yes, you can try to twitch it for Asian session, but this is for London and New York because I am giving you something that I know has been proven to work over time. I looked at this, drop down to let's say the 5 minutes, you will see this buy position I took. Okay, this buy position I took, but like paper trading, not like I took the trade. I was just looking at if I were to be trading Asian, would I take buys here? And it gave me my 1 hour. But if you check this, if I had also taken this buy position in Asian session, I would have lost 1 hour. So I would have been on break even. In fact, less than break even because I would have closed 80% here and anticipate price to rally. But here I will lose 1 hour, then plus 20%. So I would have been down minus 0.2 hour. This would have been my distance if I had taken this trade in the Asian session. What I'm trying to say is that the strategy should be used to trade London session and New York session. Okay, London and New York. Leave the Asian session now. There, I have a different strategy for that, but I don't want to trade 24 hours a day. So I only trade when I know I'll be very active and observant. Okay, so that is why this, if this was London or New York, this would have played beautifully. So I'm just giving you a little kryptonite. Okay, every trader knows when his or her strategy would work for this particular time and when it will not work. So I'm very sure that Asian and London, Asian session, this particular strategy I'm revealing would have some setbacks. But London and New York, beautiful. I have another strategy that is used for Asian session that is that works beautifully with a good win rate. But that one is not as fluid as this because the Asian session tends to not really come out every time when it is expected. Okay, it's not every time you see the Asian session perform. Sometimes it will just be dormant Another times it will just give you some voila move sort of. Okay, let's push ahead. So for today, what am I looking at? As you can see, if you want to understand this rectangle I drew here, this one, you have to watch the video for Friday. Friday's date, I think Friday should be the 17th of June. So you go and see the video on 17th of June to understand why this rectangle is here, and you see that price respected it, then dropped. So what I'm looking at, price is actually in a kind of range, in the sense that buys could occur above here, but for the sales could occur below here, which is like, don't take sales above this zone and don't take buys below this zone. That's just what I'm looking at. Okay. Apart from that, but apart from that, everything should be okay. However, I'm more prone to observing what price would do, because price is just kind of in a dilemma right now. This is what I mean. Let's go to higher time frame. This is what I mean. Yeah, I normally like keeping it extremely simple so that um it will let it just go straight to the point and sink. But this is what I mean. Watch here. On the higher time frame, if this is our resistance, price closed back in the resistance. Now, this is a different strategy entirely. Okay, this is a different strategy entirely. It's not like the strategy that I use for the 1 hour, 4 hour, 30 minutes, 15, 5, 3, 1. This one now, since this bearish candle closed back in this range, it is anticipated that what should happen, if this week now, if this candle closes above this bearish candle, yes, we can anticipate more rally on the break of this high. If it's what we could be looking at is more what bearish momentum. Okay, so something of this nature, something of this nature. Okay, let me just let's not complicate issues. Something of this nature to fill this week that is here, to fill this week. But I'm not saying it must fill it. But if price gives us or prints that kind of um, bearish market, then of course we are going to ride with it. But at the time being, we are in buyer's territory on the 1 hour time frame, buyer's territory on the 4 hours time frame, okay, even buyer's territory on the daily time frame. But you could take counter trend sales depending on the market structure. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is for gold, right? And for GJ, pound yen, as in British pound Japanese yen, I'm looking at just more buys on the break of this high. But for the sales, I would want price to give me some reasonable structure. I don't want to just say take sales here, because what I'm looking at for the sales is this. If price bearishly breaches this guy, yes, sales could be in play. If price bearishly breaches this guy, sales could be in play. But imagine this scenario. If you want to take something from, let's say, someone who is 20 years old, wants to take something from someone who is 5 years old, will it be easy compared to someone who is 20 years old Who wants to take something from five guys or five persons who are in their prime, let's say the same 25 or 30 years old? Going this way is like taking a lollipop from a child. I'm not advising you to do that. Instead, buy for the child so far as it is recommended that, you understand, to give the child something, but you can give the child some healthy snack if you want to be a loving friend or whatever your relationship status is with the child. So far as it is legal, by the way. Okay, let's go straight to the point. This you want to take buys, okay? For sales, you want to take you want to be careful. It's just like you trying to take something from the five guys who are almost like your age mate or older than you. It won't be easier. So this is you attacking or facing the guys who are just more than one, they are more than one, versus you trying to take something from a child, just one child. Even if the child can never have the same grasp like the adult and with his or her friends, okay, or their friends or its friends. So what I'm trying to say is that buys could occur here, sales would require a little more confirmation. So this is for GJ, okay, GJ, GJ. Now let's look at what gold would give us, but we'll start with, as usual, the forecast. Now, this is what I normally say about gold. Gold could be shy sometimes, and if it wants to pump, it would give you a lot of profit. First of all, a little back test. If you don't understand this, watch the videos for Friday, Thursday, Wednesday to understand why I was against taking buys below this horizontal area, this white horizontal line. If we had taken buys, let's say here or here, we would have, like in this situation, it would have hit stop loss. Unless you want to keep your stop loss here, which would be too imaginably large, okay? But it will still have given us our take profit. Look at this. If my entry was here, my stop loss was here, let's see if it would have given us our TP. You see? To the oh my god, that is to the teeth. It just gave it to us. Okay. So if the entry was on the break of this structure, stop loss below here, price just tapped it, then did what? Retraced. So what I was looking at on Friday was a break of this to anticipate more buys. But just like GJ, gold is in a strange situation. Okay, gold is also in a strange situation in the sense that it tapped it, activated, did not hit our stop loss, entered again, then slam dunk, dropped. So this was one arrow negative, but it was taken back by taking trade on the break of this low. And remember, if you check, just watch on Friday's video, you understand this setup. I have not touched anything here. This setup was minus one arrow, this one was plus one arrow. Okay, so this is it. So the only thing that gold is holding is the commission I paid. Okay, but it was sort of more or less break even. It gave me my one arrow for the sales, took me one arrow for the buys. So like I said, gold is in a very shy position. Okay, so if you want to take buys, I think safe buys will be above this zone. Okay, for sales, if you want to take sales, you'll be taking sales into this dangerous zone. So sales could be safer below this zone, somewhere like this, below here. Then you could anticipate this clean traffic to the left. Okay, this clean traffic to the left, sort of like this. This is some clean traffic, but because of there is a zone here that could act as a demand zone. So below that demand zone, sales could be taken below. However, today, US, I think this is public holiday, I think for US. Public or bank, I'm not sure if it's bank holiday, but today there's all day holiday in the US. Okay, so I don't know what the gold will do because the US will not be kind of the US traders might not be at their desks today. So I don't know if the sales will play out or the buys will play out. I'm pro buy. My bias is for the buys. Then for the sales will be below here. Okay, this is for gold. Now let's look at the Bitcoin guys, the miners. Whoa, $19,000. Damn, Bitcoin is dipping. Those who are buying it deep, I hope you got some deep money too. Let's do a little post analysis. When I say post analysis, I mean look at what price did or played with respect to what our bias was. I said the last time that potential sales will be below here. For you to understand that, you have to watch the video for Friday or Thursday. You will see I did not place the setup like this because as at the time I was doing this, I didn't want to just place it here. And but if you look at this, price played out beautifully. Okay, I was looking at sales below here. Watch the video. You don't just say, hey, you're looking at it in hindsight. It's easier. Watch the video for Friday or Thursday. You'll see where I spoke about it. So I'm looking for sales below here, then potential buys above this zone. Not just taking buys when price is above this zone, but you want some breach, retracement, then voila. Okay. As you can see, the sales played out, did some retracement, another slam dunk. This is one thing with crypto or gold. When they are dropping hard. Even GJ does that, as in British pound Japanese yen does that sometimes. When it drops hard. But for today, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? First of all, price is certainly in an area where people should not even be thinking of buying Bitcoin at the moment. Bitcoin is still for the sellers, okay? Anyone looking at buying Bitcoin, he just wants to do some charity work. So I'll be looking for, okay, safe sales will be below this zone, but I'm not going to touch buys. Buys will be above this zone, okay? Buys will be above this zone. Sales will be below this zone. That is for Bitcoin. For those of you who are trading, if you don't understand this forecast, feel free to ask the question after this live presentation. But if you're watching the recording, you can place your comment and I'll attend to it as soon as possible. For those of you who haven't subscribed, hey, what are you waiting for? You're getting this free of charge watching the recording. So do the needful so that this will be available for others and it's a win-win to encourage the person who is making it and publishing it free of charge. Okay, so hit the notification button after subscribing, subscribe, hit the notification button, subscribe, hit the notification button, then comment and like. You can follow it in this order. subscribe, notification, comment, and like. Okay, so this is all I got for you today. As usual, whatever I post here, this is what I'll be looking at or trading. Okay, so I don't think there is anything else I would like to say apart from, yes, if I have this particular channel, is, if you're checking it, is Phoenix Unique. There's another channel, Pips Collector. The two of them play distinct roles. This one I think is technical and mental analysis. For the Pips Collector, I go beyond technical analysis. So after going through this, you have to go through the other one, the other YouTube channel, to get an in-depth explanation. It's just like a handshake. This one is giving where Phoenix did not throw more light, Pips Collector threw more light. Where Pips Collector did not throw more light, Phoenix threw more light. Each of them have their pros and cons. Okay, so these are the YouTube channels. So it's as easy as ABC. I'll stop here for now. Have a lovely new week, a new and productive trading week. Cheers. Bye for now.